God has really delivered. The things that we had hoped and prayed for to happen when we opened this new center have been happening consistently since we opened the doors day one. We immediately saw a definite change in the circumstances of the cases that were coming in the door. They just seemed to be much tougher cases, spiritually, emotionally, seeing young women that were truly in crisis situations and really were desperate to hear some truth and to have some support and just to have somebody to be there with them and talk them through their situation. And it's something that has definitely been a true blessing. It just reaffirms to me that through this entire process, the vision that God had for this center is playing out exactly as He planned, and it's really something to celebrate.
There's been a huge increase with the amount of abortion-minded. When we came from the other facility, we saw girls that wanted abortions, but not nearly to the extent as here. And it was almost daily and sometimes several a day that we would see coming in through the doors. It was a strain. There was a heaviness in my heart from seeing these girls. You would want them to understand the life-changing event that they were considering, and yet sometimes you didn't feel like you had connected with them. And so there was a heaviness, and it just almost felt like a spiritual battle. It was a spiritual battle. And I would walk out, and every now and then there'd be a board meeting, and I'd just even stop and say, we saw this many today. And sometimes even the board would just stop and pray right then. One student in particular who had been in a very difficult situation, actually she was raped, and she came believing that she was going to have an abortion. She even came a second time for an ultrasound. So Dr. Ellis talked with her, then I talked with her again afterwards, and prayed for her. She wanted prayer, but she still said at the end that she was going to abort. It was a couple months later I called her back, thinking that's probably what she had done, just to see how she was and offer support in any way, even if she had had the abortion. And instead she said, oh no, I'm carrying, which just thrilled me. It thrilled me, and then I related that to Dr. Ellis too, and he was thrilled too. I've had to realize not every single one is going to choose life, but we've made a difference in a number of them. And when you hear those stories, that makes it all the more worthwhile.
I found out I was pregnant a week after my fiance passed away. That mixed with my celiac disease and the loss of my fiance, I felt like I was really overwhelmed, and I was almost sure that I would lose the baby, or he would be unhealthy, or he'd have to go through his life with my disease. So I went to Planned Parenthood. I was talking to one of the girls there about an abortion. I couldn't decide, and I was really fighting with myself with it, because if my fiance had been there, I felt like it wouldn't have even been considered. I had called my mom and I said, well, I'm here. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've been thinking about this. And she said, well, if he has made it this far, you haven't lost him, you've not had a serious celiac episode yet, you just need to wait, because if he's come this far, there's probably a way. My sister had actually worked at Crisis Pregnancy, and I was talking to her and I was like, I just don't know what to do. I feel like I can't provide for us. I'm just absolutely lost. And she said, what about Crisis Pregnancy Center? And she made an appointment with Twyla. I came in and started talking to her, and it was just an absolute blessing, because I couldn't afford any kind of counseling, and she was there for me every time I needed someone. She offered support, she prayed with me, and the classes that you guys offered when I just had him were exactly what I needed. I'm kind of surprised because, you know, I thought when I had him that, well, that would be it for the classes, but no, they've actually grown with us, and that's been exactly what we've needed. I'd like to say thank you to everybody that's provided for CPC and donated and volunteered. You guys have made people that have gone through my situation or similar situations, our lives so much easier, and we are so blessed to have you all in our lives.